What's burning inside, the hurting and the suffering minds, creating anger, fear and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger and violence, clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with the chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear.
Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall overcome.
every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We have just begun.
Wanna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Young Gandhi couldn't fathom how to deal with himself when he was thrown off the train and the pain that he felt. Mrs. Parks disrespected, dragged into jail because of the color of his skin, organs, tissues, and cells. One day, a young girl was shot on a bus by a man, a terrorist, part of the Taliban. He said, on this land, you have no right to stand for what you believe in. Girls have no chance here. Well, now, that's just the story of three souls who shook our planet after being down on their knees. And it's not gonna stop. Those seeds have now become trees, and as human beings, we'll keep on digging till we find peace.
Yeah, the cynics always say that nothing ever changes. The human nature's bound to stay the same. But it couldn't be more plain that violence never pays, injustice never stays. It's bound to fade away. What if history awaits? What if today's the day? We already know the way, so let's all lead the way. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall overcome.
every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. Come on.
I will carry on. Yeah, I will carry on. And long after we're gone, the roots of the tree we plant will be strong.
Yeah, yeah, come on. Yeah. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, the roots of the tree. We shall overcome someday.
Makes me wanna sing now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall
every time I question, am I
overcome.
getting stronger?
We shall overcome
Cause I'm
someday.
feeling it deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Come on, put your hearts together. Here we go. Woo. I knew it. God had a plan for us to do it. To hit rock bottom before we rise and continue. To first learn greed before we learn to be human. To do wrong deeds before we learn to spread beauty. There's always a plan, and now it's time to take a stand for the right of the planet, every woman and man. We ain't gonna stop, only growing our demands for all beings to feel peace in every heart and land. Thank you, Lord, for the strength and the courage to bring us together and keep our souls nourished. These tough times will only drown in our chorus, cause we all believe that the truth is before us. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome this day. We pray for love to lead the way.
We shall overcome.
That by Daniel Namad and Patel Nemo. Wow. I don't know what to believe. Is it this true or is it not true? It said it on the internet. Ever experienced that? Wait, it says this here. But then the next one it says this, and each no. Ay. There's a famous quote by Abraham Lincoln. And here's what it says. The problem with quotes found on the internet is that they are often not true. Just let that sink in for a moment. We are so easily manipulated. If you didn't get the joke, you will. So then, why do we do it? Why do people fall for all those stories? Could it be that we're lonely and we feel lost in an anonymous, alienating world of competition, isolation, and collapse? There's a lot of stuff that appears to be collapsing. Government, social fabric, political, social upheaval. People join movements. They adhere to ideologies because it fulfills their need to belong. More complicated than that, but that's one big reason. And we all need belongings. We all need it. People need belonging. People need to belong. When we're little kids, I empty the trash. That's my niche in this family. That's where I belong in this family. That's my spot in this family. I belong to this family. The need to belong is fundamental to our very humanity. It makes us feel special. That's why people who are in gangs, for example, when they don't get that sense of belonging at home, they join a gang. Now I belong. I'm in this group. They believe what I believe. And it reinforces our own opinions, our own beliefs. Those opinions and beliefs that we have been taught to us by other people when we were little, from the early on and throughout our lifetime. Think about that. Be like little children. A blank slate. Admitting how much we don't know. Admitting that to ourselves and admitting it to others. Oh yeah, we say, my cup is full. I already have all the knowing that I need. I know it. I know. I've done my research. My cup is full. I don't need to take in any more research or information or divine wisdom. My cup is full. I can't take in any more. I don't want to take in any more. My head is full. My brain is full. I have all the wisdom I need. My wisdom is full. My understanding is full. I get it. I understand. It's you who don't understand. I already know everything. You can't teach me anything I don't already know. Oh boy. Tim, would you put this in the comment section, please? What Michael Beckwith of the Agape Center in San Diego has to say is, when you believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you do see you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Sing it to me, Michael Beckwith. Wow. What we cannot see are in the realm of love. You can't see love. Or joy. You can't see joy. Now wait a minute before you start to argue with me. Just hear me out. You can't see harmony. You can't see peace. They're invisible qualities that are beyond our senses: seeing, tasting, feeling, hearing, touching. But what we can do is only see their evidence. What we cannot see is divine guidance, divine inspiration. Those are beyond our senses. So what you do see would be obstacles. I can't do this. Hindrances, obstructions. You're holding me back. They're holding me back. It's holding me back. That's what you do see. But believe more in what you don't see. It's like electricity. We can't see it, but yet we know it exists, and we believe in it because we turn the light switch on and we get the experience of it. It's like God. We can't see God, but we know God exists. That divine, that's in the invisible realm, what you don't see. See what you don't see. Our belief system, taught to us by others early on and throughout our life, creates our perceptions. Tim, would you put this in the the comment section, please? We don't actually see what we think we see. What we think, we see. That's how it works. It's tricky. And this is when we use discernment. We learn to discern beyond our perceptions, beliefs, opinions, ideas of what truth is to us from our life experiences, based on what we perceive through our senses, what we see. And in those instances, when we don't learn to discern, it keeps us separated from the truth that sets us free. Okay, have you heard the story of the blind men and the elephant? Love this story. And this is a poem, actually. It was 6 men of Indostan, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind, that each by observation might satisfy his mind. The first approached the elephant, and happening to fall against his broad and sturdy side, at once began to bawl, "God bless me, but the elephant is very like a wall." The second, feeling of the tusk, cried, "Ho, what have we here? So very round and smooth and sharp. To me 'tis mighty clear, this wonder of an elephant is very like a spear." Oh, the third approached the animal, and happening to take the squirming trunk within his hands, thus boldly up and spake, "I see," quoth he, "the elephant is very like a snake." Ooh. The fourth reached out his eager hand and felt about the knee. "What most this wondrous beast is like is mighty plain," quoth he. "'Tis clear enough the elephant is very like a tree." The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said, "E'en the blindest man can tell what this resembles most. Deny the fact who can, this marvel of an elephant is very like a fan. The sixth no sooner had begun about the beast to grope than, seizing on the swinging tail that fell within his scope, "I see," quoth he, "the elephant is very like a rope." Oh boy. And so these men of Indostan disputed loud and long, each in his own opinion, exceedingly stiff and strong, though each was partly in the right, and all were in the wrong. The moral. So, often theologic wars, the disputants, I ween, this poet is saying still in the poem, the last verse of the poem, the disputants, I ween, rail on in utter ignorance of what each other mean, and prate about an elephant not one of them has seen. Have to wonder what it would be like to be blind for a day, so we can see what we don't see beyond our senses. Different way of seeing things, especially when our eyes are opened, our inner eyes are opened. Higher, more holistic way of seeing earthly challenges. No desperate need to make sense of it all, which with the human intellectual brain, that can certainly get us even more tangled up inside. Ever try that? Trying to reason things out, and you just get all these thoughts and competing, conflicting ideas and opinions and beliefs swirling around your head until you get a headache. Ever try that? You know what I mean. It gets us even more tangled up inside when we try to reason it out with our human intellectual brain. And sure, relying solely upon your intellect, yeah, that may leave you mired in too many explanations that are conflicting. And of course, you may ponder or puzzle the truth sometimes. There's a need for that, an appropriate place for that. Your human mind can use logic, can weigh the pros and cons, can do your research. But let me tell you, intellectual reasoning can get you only so far. I know. And when we extend this to regarding world affairs and world events going on right now, people might say, how could God let this happen? We need to assign some blame. I tell you, any type of communication that casts blame is suspect. It's only a projection of their own opinions, their judgments, and their belief system as learned, as taught to them by others. It's full of blind spots, not backed up by actual understanding. Oh yeah, it makes us feel special when we try to make sense of it. Oh, I get it now. I understand. I have the wisdom. I'm special. I belong. Wonder what it would be like to be blind for a day so that we could see what we don't see. You know, there's a purpose, though, in narrowing things down into pieces, like the elephant parts. We analyze all this information. We break it down so that at some point we can put it all back together in a way that makes sense to us. Then we synthesize it so that we can try to grasp it, to wrap our heads around it, to fathom the unfathomable. On this human realm, there's so much from the divine realm that we don't understand, and to try to put it into human language. And very often there just is not language on this human realm to be able to get the experience of it. We try to make sense of things. That's what we do. And there's a purpose to narrowing down, funneling things and ideas down to the human experience in an effort to understand it from our human perspective. That's all we can do, is understand it from a human perspective, which is sorely lacking. But it's all we got. Or is it all we got? That which was beyond our comprehension. What we can wrap our head around. So sometimes we get a partial understanding, a partial explanation of something, and it helps to alleviate our fear about what we don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Our anger, because we don't know what else to do with that fear but get angry or depressed at all that we don't know. And so we project, I know. And we get a partial relief, but when we go beyond that to a deeper divine understanding, we can go beyond that partial understanding that is maybe somewhat more comfortable, but even that is often lacking a greater divine understanding. It's only when we go beyond that to a divine understanding. Talk more about that in a minute. There's something that happens called spiritual bypassing. Speaking of the fear and anger that come up, oh, we might say, no, I don't feel angry, I don't feel fear. I challenge you to look more deeply of what fear of what we don't know. So we profess to know. There's a spiritual bypassing that happens, an airy-fairy kind of thing. Fear and anger stem from what we don't understand, and they don't go away just by our denying them. Oh, they don't exist. I'm not angry. I'm not fearful. They don't go away just by doing that. Contrary to that, the shadow, our shadow that we don't want to acknowledge or admit to. But it's okay. The shadow grows the more it's denied. And the more you suppress the negativity that's in you and act all airy-fairy like, no, I feel happy, I don't have negative thoughts, no, I'll just do a positive affirmation here. The more you suppress that negativity that's in you, the more you're susceptible you will be to the falsities that are out there. Some of us endlessly affirm the light. Affirming the light, and that's a beautiful thing to do, to visualize and affirm the light. But in doing so, we ignore the shadow. That's an example of falling under the spell of perpetrators of falsities. Again, it's a beautiful thing to affirm the light, but not just as an unconscious or fearful reaction against darkness. When we do that, we unwittingly avoid our conscious relationship with the darkness within. It's there, folks. It's there. And the only way to get around it is to walk through it, not to deny it. To transcend, to overcome, to get to the other side. And then we feel the true relief. Not be in denial. I'm not angry. We think that we don't want to feed the darkness by putting attention on it. But in our turning away from it, by avoiding our own darkness, we reinforce that very darkness from which we are fleeing. Only by consciously embracing and working with the shadow sets us free from its clutches on our psyche, on our soul, on our heart, on our head, on our body. It's not good for your health, folks. And some of us are so detached from actual down-to-earth reality, kind of in la-la land, woo-woo land, And that makes us prone to accept and believe the cheapest lies handed out to us. It becomes like echo chambers in which like-minded people reinforce each other's beliefs, conjuring up a kind of groupthink without critical assessment of the claims passed, of the claims that are passed around in certain scenes. Lies that are repeated by many over and over until finally they're being felt as if they are true. Releasing emotionally charged, simplistic messages. For people who do that and release those out, people are paid to do that all the time. Days of releasing emotionally charged, simplistic messages out into the ethers feeds into people's minds, and it gets millions of followers. Instead of an honest, thorough engagement with an ever more complex, contradictory world. There's this, and there's this. Ah! And there comes about a lack of empathy for people with different beliefs than ours, for people who make mistakes. I've made so many mistakes in my life. Hopefully I've learned from most of all of them and did differently later on. But there is a lack of empathy for people who made mistakes way back when. And then there comes merciless character assassinations. We say, we, the righteous few, will liberate the world from the spell of evil. People who've previously had no connection to each other, these people have previously had no connection to each other. And they fuse together in an illusionary sense-shared identity. Illusionary identity. In an unprecedented historic mission, mistakenly believing, I am just like them. I belong. I'm special. And you are special, by the way, but not just because you belong to this group. I do matter in this world because I belong. See? This is my place in the world. This is my spot. This is my niche. Mine. I matter. I belong. They believe like me, and I believe like them. You know, maybe, just maybe, instead of ridiculing those who believe differently, who seek to find belonging in movements maybe with dehumanizing ideologies, maybe we need to instead affirm their right and our right to individual beliefs or views, to affirm their right and our right to divine dignity. Meanwhile, our discernment is to see and perceive through the falsities to the clarity, like a laser. Maybe not that fast, maybe sometimes that fast. You know what? We make meaning in this world according to what our beliefs are. Not according to what actually happens, not what reality actually is. So when you believe more in what you don't see than what you do see, then you will see what you don't see. And you won't see what you do see. It takes practice. to say that, for one, and to do it. And finding that freedom is a boot camp. It's a boot camp about becoming masterful at seeing the truth, at knowing the truth, at hearing the truth, feeling the truth, clearly perceiving, discerning the truth is what sets us free. So instead of puffing out our chest with our swords and our shields, broadcasting for all to hear, I know the truth, maybe it would behoove us to admit to ourselves and to others there is much behind the scenes that we don't know. Maybe it would be in our best interest to go beyond our perceptions and our beliefs and our opinions and our judgments accumulated on this earthly realm through the lens of our senses, and instead admit what we don't know. Admit that we don't know everything. There is much that we do not know. And we seek through prayer and meditation and the silence divine wisdom, divine understanding, divine guidance from our divine place, that divine aspect of us, from our source, which is the ultimate truth with a capital T, unwavering, never changing. That's one of those places where we can rightfully use the word never and ever, is in the divine realm. It is never and ever, always the same. We can use the words never and ever. We're on this earthly realm, you got to be careful using those words. Always true, that divine wisdom and understanding. Always true throughout eternity. It is our solid rock. That which we can rightfully and righteously stand upon, plant our feet firmly upon it, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we know. We are safe from any harm there, any and all harm, as perceived through our human senses, what appears to be reality. Then we will know that some of this crap is not real, unless it has the sweet kiss of the divine upon it. We will then know we matter. We will then know we are enough. We will then know that we truly are spiritual beings having a human experience. We will then be able to let go of having to be right. I know I'm right. No, we can let go of that then. We can let go of the need to boast that we've done our research, that we know the answers that others do not know, and it's up to us to educate them, to tell them so. We can let go of that. We can let go of that desperate need to make sense of things, that need for that false sense of power and control in order to belong, in order to feel that we matter, false sense, in order to feel that we're worthwhile, in order to feel that we are enough. We can rest. We can experience the relief, the soulful peace that then pervades our body, our soul, our very being, our beingness, our everything. A peace that transcends and is beyond this human world. And then, and only then, do we really know. Your heart carries within it all the wisdom of your evolving soul. It transcends time and space. It's in every one of us to be wise, and everything we need to know is available to us. You can trust your heart's wisdom to reveal to you whatever you need to know. As you listen to the knowing deep in your heart, you discover a new, deeper, divine understanding that's real. Turning within, use your divine power of wisdom to discern truth with a capital T. Center yourself in the presence and the power of God, breathing deeply, feeling the wisdom of God fill your mind and your heart. Quiet yourself. Focus your awareness on the powerful yet gentle beating of your physical heart, which brings your attention to your spiritual heart's wisdom. This wisdom is precious, so very precious. We place our trust in it. In this sacred space, we open ourselves to receive answers that will be revealed to us as we go about our day. A certain calm certainty begins to pervade our consciousness. Divine wisdom informs our mind. We relax into knowing that presence within, allowing understanding to unfold. And from 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 7, the Lord, or you could say your higher self, or that divine aspect to you that you inherit as a creation of God, the Lord will give you understanding in all things. Centered in divine peace, we can realize that every person is as much an expression of God as we are. As those differences dissolve in a way that transcends human understanding, we come to know a oneness with all of the world's people. Let this realization shape your response to every person in every situation, in an awareness of our oneness with all people. We know the truth of John 17, verse 22, when Jesus said, I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one, as we are one. Wonder what it would be like if we were blind for a day, so that we could see, then see, only what we don't see. I'm going to leave you with this song, a new song by Daniel Nahmad, Blind for a Day. And then after that, I'm going to allow Leilani Villamore and Ron Enos to do It's in Every One of Us, To Be Wise. We can change the world, and everything we need to know is available to us. So let's start with Daniel Nahmad, Blind for a Day.
My mom didn't know she was going to die.
Here's an ad.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to see. At sunset I'm gone in a reverie. My beautiful bride, my baby smile, a country road rolling on for miles. But sometimes my eyes discourage instead, blurring the vision I have in my head. A dream I'm after fades further from view, till only the obstacles look true. And lately I wonder, if I were blind for a day, where would I go if my heart had its way? I could see more than the doors that have closed in my face, if I were blind for a day. There's a girl in high school with a heart of gold, Smart as a whip, she's brave, she's bold. But when she looks in the mirror, all she can see is heavy and ugly and unworthy. And I can't help but wonder, if she were blind just for a day, would she still be cruel to herself that way? Or maybe she'd see there's nothing she needs to change, if she were blind for a day. Blind for a day. How do our eyes deceive us? Where does our vision fail? Whether parent or teacher, policeman or preacher, we'll see what we think we'll see. Believe what we're taught to believe. World on fire, world afraid, and we focus only on enemies made. Colors divide us, holy books too, political parties, well, what else is new? Still I dare to wonder, if we were blind just for a day, what kind of world would we create? If behind our disguises we find that we're all the same. If we were blind for a day, I'd like to think things would change. If only the blind would lead the way.
All right, and here's Leilani and Ron. Yay, Ron.
the sunlight in my universe. And I could think my love was really something good. Maybe if I could change the world. Maybe if I could change the world, I could change, I could change the world. Yes, I could, yes, I could, yes, I could. If I could, I would.
Yes. Okay, just a moment here for the next song, if you have time to listen to this one. Everything that we need is available to us. Everything we need to know.
I'm inspired.
All right.
Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. There's a mind of God within me. Everything that I need to release about what lies before me. Everything that I need to release about what lies before me is available to me. There's a mind of God within me. Everything that I need to know, except about what lies before me. Everything that I need to accept about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. In the light of God within me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need about what lies before me is available.
So, richest blessings and love to you all. Join us at 11:30 for Spiritual Cafe, where we will discuss today's talk and metaphysics and spirituality and all of that stuff, transcendence, and we'll just have a chance to just chat with each other too. If you don't have the Zoom link, let me know. I'll send it to you. All right. Bye-bye.